Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Monday night, Sports Hounds live till 10 o'clock. A somber day in Philadelphia, Brad, as Carson Wentz, the prodigy, the franchise quarterback, is out for the year with a torn ACL. Really put a damper on a big win yesterday to clinch the NFC East. Eagles will be in the playoffs. Guaranteed a home game. But, Brad, I've listened to sports talk radio all day. I look at the fans on Facebook. This team's just not a Super Bowl contender anymore.
I don't see it. Not without Wentz. I mean, Wentz is the difference.
And I love
He's the MVP of the league. I mean, to lose him is just brutally tough.
And I absolutely love Nick Foles. He's a solid quarterback.
He's not bad. I mean,
he's a solid. He's a game manager. He's going to go in there. He's going to be prepared. He's going to try his best. But he just doesn't give you what Carson Wentz does. What Carson Wentz gave this team over the first, 13, 14 weeks of the NFL season.
An elite offensive player. They're an elite offensive team. I mean, he no matter what the situation was, that guy could bail them out of any series with any play. I mean, he's that good.
The way he can move the pocket, step up, roll out.
Avoid the rush.
Just sidestep 250-pound
and his accuracy while he's moving is unbelievable.
Now, that is Nick Foles' strength as well, accuracy. But, I mean...
Yeah, but he's not as elusive as Wentz, and he doesn't have a strong
arm. Remember that play on
arm.
Seattle on Sunday Night Football where he was falling down and threw the ball 53 yards at Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah, he's not making that play.
No chance in hell is Nick Foles doing that.
Well, nobody else is, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, that was...
Which is my point.
Yeah, that was a play that only an elite quarterback and athlete can make. I mean, Brady isn't making that play either, not at age 40. I mean, that was an amazing play.
Nick Foles isn't going to give you the mobility that Carson Wentz gave you. Nick Foles is not going to give you the intangibles that, Nick Foles, he's kind of, not to make fun of him, he's kind of a nerdy guy, Brad. He's tall, he's gangly, he's goofy. He's not nearly the leader that Carson Wentz is. Not that he's a bad player or a bad leader, but he's not Carson Wentz. I mean, anyone who thinks that, I put the Vikings, I think they're the clear favorites in the NFC now. I'm not sure the Eagles will beat the Rams with Nick Foles starting a quarterback.
I don't know about that either. We'll see. I mean, listen.
Are they going to beat the Saints with Nick Foles at quarterback?
I don't know.
I'm not so sure.
I don't know that they can beat the Falcons either, or the Seahawks. I mean, all these teams. It's going to be.
I'll tell you one thing: they're going to have to really tighten up this defense, who got relatively gashed by Todd Gurley yesterday. They're going to clean up their special teams mistakes. They let up a block punt that turned into a touchdown. That kind of stuff, they're not going to have Wentz to bail them out of those mistakes anymore.
No.
They're going to have to play near-perfect football with Nick Foles at the helm. And against teams like the Saints, the Rams, and the Vikings, I don't think they can. I don't think they stack up well. I just don't. That brings us to our ScanzanoSports.com poll question of the night. Can the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles as the starting quarterback? My answer is 100% no.
They're contenders. I don't think they can win now. I just don't. I don't see it happening.
I mean, I'll be if they win a playoff game with Nick Foles, that would be a huge success.
Depends who they play, but I think they could win a playoff game. It depends, but again, it depends who they play.
Let's lay it out. They're the 1 seed now in the NFC for now.
Who are they going to listen? Who are they going to play?
They might finish as the 1 seed because they're better. The Giants, they're a bunch of musts.
They're terrible
laid
now.
down. They laid down yesterday against the Cowboys. I thought they were going to win that game yesterday. I thought they would show up for Spagnuolo and
Well,
Eli.
they did for 3 quarters.
Games are 4 quarters.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Listen, the problem with the Giants is they can't score, and their offense just didn't do anything, and the defense wore down. And then after the Collins injury, they just couldn't stop the Cowboys anymore. So I mean, it ended up being an embarrassment. But at this point, you're not going to have any problem with the Giants. You should beat Oakland. They're terrible. The Cowboys at the end of the season. I mean, if Elliott's playing and the Cowboys are still in it for a playoff spot, that might be a tough game for the Cowboys, but we'll see. I mean, you just don't know right now.
All right, folks, coming in a little bit late on Facebook. The live stream is up on Facebook. You also check us out on YouTube. I will be sharing that stream on my Facebook page momentarily once it comes up. But we're talking Eagles. We're talking Carson Wentz.
Yeah, we got some action here on YouTube from Clay Ferguson. That the Eagles should run the ball more, and Carson should still be MVP. I agree with both of those statements.
Running the ball, I mean, you can't make a guy MVP.
But for 13 games, they might. It depends. Again, it depends. Really depends on the rest of the season what happens. I mean,
that's interesting because I still think the Eagles have a very good chance at being the 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, at this point,
like I said, the Giants, they stink. They're going to beat them next
week. The
week.
worst case scenario,
and
they're going to go 2-1.
Raiders are god awful.
Yeah, the Raiders.
I'm
stink.
sick of sticking up for Derek Carr. I've stuck up for Derek Carr all fantasy season. I thought he was a good player. He is a scrub.
He's not playing well this year. He's having a terrible year. I don't know if it's just because of his injury and he's just not playing well from being injured.
So I'm confident that they can win that game, especially at home with the Raiders coming east on Christmas night.
Yeah, you would think so.
And then Dallas, it might not matter. You can rest guys, so we don't have any more injuries on this team.
Right.
So
but they should 2 out of 3 should not be a problem, and 2 out of 3 should be enough. You know, at that point,
at least a bye week.
Yeah, worst case scenario, a bye week. It depends on who they play, and you know, there's a lot of teams in play here right now. I mean, don't forget now Green Bay is back in it, and big question this week is Aaron Rodgers going to play?
I think he's going to play next week.
Yeah, I think he is too, and the Packers are in it right now.
They're in it.
They're in it.
Their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, but they're only one. I believe they're only 1 game out, or are they 2 games out? I think these teams that are these 7-6 teams, I believe they're at least.
Anthony Zeppi, we can still make a solid run. I agree with you. If the Eagles win a playoff game this year, that's a huge success without Carson Wentz. Nick Foles is not Carson Wentz. You're not going to get the intangibles of Carson Wentz. You're not going to get the audibles at the line like you got with Carson Wentz. You're not going to get the mobility of Carson Wentz. You're not going to get the improvisation of Carson Wentz. You're not going to get the arm strength of Carson Wentz. It's much, much, much easier to game plan for this offense with Nick Foles.
It's going to be more of. It's going to be.
They will be with Carson Wentz.
It's going to be more of a West Coast offense now. You know, I mean, it won't be completely a West Coast offense, but there's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking. I don't see that he's going to be throwing the long ball. He's really not a great long ball thrower, but he's pretty accurate to the short and medium passes. And the Eagles can run the ball, and they should be able to still score some points. Again, the question is in the playoffs, and that's what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about the regular season. But in the playoffs, depending on who they play.
And I would favor this football team over a team like the Falcons and a team like the Packers, even if they have Aaron Rodgers.
You know, it's really hard. Again, I don't know if the Falcons or Packers are going to make it right now.
It's very much up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking.
Very much up in the air. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking the Saints probably are still in the driver's seat for that division. Falcons have to win every game.
The corner, Rob, because look, that's fine. You can have your Eagles glasses on all day long and just feed yourself lies. This team is significantly worse with Nick Foles at quarterback than they are with Carson Wentz. That's just a pure,
Yeah,
simple fact.
That is a fact.
If you can't see that, I can't help you.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting from Todd Womack, Ajayi must get more carries. I agree with that completely. Ajayi should be a workhorse.
He led the team in carries. Now it's 2 weeks in a row. He led the team in overall offensive snaps against Seattle.
I think the fans want
15 carries for 75 yards yesterday against the Rams.
I think the fans want to see him with the ball more, and I don't blame him. He's really a good.
I think
we're seeing.
It's exactly what I expected when Jay Ajayi came in. Slowly but surely, LeGarrette Blount is being phased out, and Corey Clement and Jay Ajayi are the main ball carriers for this team. And that's fine. But every defense they play from here out knows that the Eagles are going to be running the ball as the focal point of their offense now.
I got you. Now, Clay Ferguson still thinks that the Falcons are going to get into the Panthers won't. Maybe. That could happen. I mean, but there's
going to be a couple really good teams that don't get in the NFC.
It's a real close race.
Okay, but who's better, the Panthers or the Eagles with Nick Foles at quarterback?
Oh boy,
that's a coin flip.
I mean, I think I think with Foles, I think the Carolina beats him.
Tom Arnone, obviously, there's always a chance. We can play these cliche games all day long, but there's a much easier team to game plan for with Carson Wentz on injured reserve.
Well, they're
Nick
not going to.
Foles doesn't have the skill set
Mathematically,
Carson Wentz is such a special player, and he might win MVP after only playing 13 games. Because once they see how much worse this offense is with Nick Foles as opposed to Carson Wentz, it's going to be eye-opening. And I don't think Nick Foles is a bad player. I think there's a handful of teams that Nick Foles would be the starting quarterback on.
No, Nick Foles is not a bad backup quarterback at all. He's probably one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. And there are teams he could start on, but I mean he's not Wentz though. That's the whole point. I think Rob's trying to make everybody.
I don't see it to the point they can't win the NFC.
Right now,
I don't favor the Eagles over the Saints. I don't favor the Eagles over the Rams, and I don't favor the Eagles over the Vikings. With Nick Foles at starting quarterback over Carson Wentz.
Well, right now,
I think Carolina's a coin flip. I would favor them over Dallas. Who else is in the mix there? Green Bay. I don't know what to make of Seattle. I was very surprised they lost that game to Jacksonville yesterday.
Well, look, the teams that are 7-6 right now, they're just about done. I mean, let's be honest. The Panthers right now are 9-4. Okay.
Is that the 6th seed, or are they the current 6th seed?
They are the 5th seed.
They're the 5th seed.
They're the 5th seed. They're 9-4. The Saints are also 9-4. Okay. The Falcons are 8-5. The Seahawks are 8-5. So you've got 4 teams, right? You got 3 teams.
They're only one back with 3 to play. I don't see how they're done.
No, they're 2. They're.
You just said the 6th seed had 5 losses.
The 6th seed has 5 losses. There are 8, but there are 2 teams that are 8-5.
Right. Now, I don't really.
And
really consider Dallas a legitimate. Maybe they are. I don't know.
I mean, they're 7-6. Detroit is 7-6. The Packers are 7-6. And again, the Falcons are 8-5. The Seahawks are 8-5. So you've got 2 8-5 teams that's fighting for the 6th spot right now. So I mean that's the thing. You've got all these teams ahead of you. A lot of things have to happen, and they have to happen, the right way. And if you want to take a look, and if you want to play,
Doug Zeke, you act like Foles is some scrub. I've said 5 times on this broadcast, we've been on the air for 5 minutes, that he's not a scrub. He's a good quarterback. There's a handful of teams that Nick Foles would be the starting quarterback on. He's definitely one of the 32 best quarterbacks in this league. The Eagles are very, very, very fortunate to have him as a backup because they do have a chance with Nick Foles. I don't think it's a good chance because he's not Carson Wentz. The main reason this team is 11-2 right now is because of Carson Wentz. Everything feeds off Carson Wentz.
I agree. As far as the playoff teams, and I want to just go through this real quick. I'm looking at the Seahawks. Okay, their schedule for the rest of the season. They've got the Rams at home.
Who's this? I'm sorry, I was reading
the
something.
The Seahawks. Okay. They have the Rams at home. I
picked that as a loss.
Okay, then they play Dallas, and Elliott will be back for that game.
Elliott can play in Week 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this coming week, I think is his last week. No, because They're 2-3. They're 2-3, and it was a 6-game suspension. So this coming week is his last game.
Okay, I thought he couldn't play till week 17. I miscounted.
No, they're 2-3.
Well,
with him,
I would
so.
favor the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott over the
Seahawks, especially at home.
Where's that game being played?
Dallas.
Yeah, I would favor Dallas.
Yeah, I would too. And then the Seahawks play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals last year.
But if you lose those two, like I think they're going to, then
that's what I'm saying.
Cardinals game that don't matter.
You take a look at some of these schedules here. Now the Atlanta Falcons, I believe they have a pretty rough schedule too.
Nancy Brinkman, I firmly believe defense wins championships. Eagles defense needs to step it up. Wentz was hit way too many times yesterday. Yeah, I agree on that. That's part of the reason he's hurt because he got hit too many times. But, I mean, a mobile quarterback's going to get hit. He's treated as a regular player outside the pocket.
We're getting some comments from
offensive lines to protect their quarterback no matter who he is. That's now true more than ever because Nick Foles is not going to be able to elude the pass rush like Carson Wentz. This line is really going to have to really buckle down and give him a strong pocket because he needs time to throw and see what's going on.
Okay, we have from John Casanova that the defense wakes up. They should win because Foles can get you 20 points a game. The defense, it depends on who they play. Now,
Foles can easily get you 20 points a game against the Giants. He can easily get you 20 points a game against the Raiders.
All right, let me ask you:
is he getting 20 points a game on Wild Card Weekend against the Atlanta Falcons?
I don't know. Oh, listen, the Falcons. Speaking of the Falcons, listen to this schedule for the end. This is not easy. They play at Tampa Bay, which is never an easy game for these guys.
It's a division game. But
it's a division game. They should win.
Stink.
They should win.
Tampa stinks. They'll win that.
Okay, but then they have to play in New Orleans, and then they play the Panthers. That's not easy. Not easy at all. Panthers.
Defense and coaching are going to be the defense. Doug P. is going to earn his money now.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a firm believer that players make coaches look good. Not the other way around.
Yeah, and
Bill
the Panthers.
Belichick was a sub-500 coach before he found Tom Brady. So we're really going to see how Doug Peterson is really as an NFL head coach with an inferior talent at quarterback. Was Wentz checking out and audibling from Doug Peterson's bad play calls, or was Doug Peterson giving him the tools to be successful? We're about to find out because Nick Foles is not going to be audibling every play like Carson Wentz was.
Well, that's the other thing. Carson Wentz was just so.
His mind for the game, his football IQ.
He has.
It can't be matched. Maybe by anyone in the league besides Tom Brady.
He can read a defense, and that's so important. That's why he can.
When you have the skill set he does and the brain he has, that's why he's the MVP.
But he knows. He'll see a blitz coming, and then he'll change the play and throw a short pass to beat the blitz.
Or he'll step up and run.
Yeah. Well,
Nick Foles is not running anywhere.
No. Rob, I just took a quick peek at the
Foles
Panthers.
can help us win the Super Bowl.
Panthers,
okay, maybe.
The Panthers schedule. They have to play the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to be playing Tampa Bay at home, which they should win, and then they're at Atlanta. So I mean, these teams are all going to be playing each other. These teams are all
kind of playing each other down the stretch, which is really fun.
Yeah. So you can't sit here and say, well, somebody's definitely. You can't say that because you know what? If somebody has a problem, they could be out. I mean, the Rams could still be out. As hard as
it could be, they're
9-4. They're 9-4, but they have a tough schedule left.
It's true.
Not going to be easy. None of these teams are just going to are not walking in and having 3 gift wins. They're just not. So I mean, it's going to be rough. So these guys are all going to have to come out and play, and may the best teams win. And at least the Eagles are in a position now where things are wrapped up. They really have games they should be able to just sleepwalk through and win. Foles can learn the offense these next 2 weeks, which is a good thing for him. And, hopefully he will be sharp enough and prepared enough to give everybody a good showing and not lose the game. I think at this point what you really want to see from Foles is don't let him lose the game. He may not necessarily win it, but as long as he doesn't lose it, the Eagles have enough talent on both sides of the ball that they can still win against almost all the teams in the league. To be honest with you, the only 2 teams I think that they will not be able to beat are the two AFC teams, the Steelers and the Patriots. I think any team in the NFC they have a shot against, even with Foles.
Right, they have a shot.
They have a shot.
Okay, they have a
shot. I don't think they could beat the Patriots though, and I don't think they could beat the Steelers.
Certainly not.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to be able to do that.
We'll see about the Steelers. The Steelers are a weird team this year.
Yeah, well, you know what
Michael
they did?
Berry,
They did the job last night.
Michael Berry. I guess everyone forgot about 2013 season with Nick Foles. Yeah, I remember the 2013 season with Nick Foles. He had a fantastic regular season, and they lost a home playoff game to the Saints because Drew Brees outplayed him. So there's a ceiling with Nick Foles.
You also have to remember, and again, the playoffs are not the regular season.
Mike Marshall makes a great point.
It's
Not ruling
different.
the Eagles out, but we're definitely not favorites anymore to get to the Super Bowl. QB play magnified in the playoffs.
Well, it is. I mean, look,
100% is.
Peyton Manning wasn't even that great in a lot of playoff games. Look at how many playoff
Very
games he
true.
lost. You know, even Brady, when the Patriots didn't win, when the Patriots lost to the Colts a couple of times, and when they lost to the Ravens, Brady has had some rough playoff games. It happens, even to the best of them. And certainly when it's not the best of them, some of the lesser quarterbacks really struggle. I mean, I will say this, though. I can remember a game Alex Smith played back in 2013, I believe, against I think it was against the Saints at home. It was the year the Giants won the Super Bowl.
When he ran for all those yards.
And he threw the ball down the field, and he was hitting Vernon Davis, was destroying the Saints the whole game.
But Nick Foles isn't capable of a game like that because he can't run like that.
No, that's the thing. I don't know that he can do. Nick Foles can get the job done, but I just don't know that they can put up enough points to beat some of these offensively elite teams in the NFC, whom they're going to have to play in the playoffs.
I don't think Nick Foles is capable of putting up 20 points against the Vikings.
No, but then again, the Eagles' defense is pretty good, and I don't know if the Vikings are going to put up that many points either.
Now, and even Eli has 2 rings. Well, Eli Manning is a pretty good quarterback there, Doug.
Clay, I have
Zeke, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Clay, I have to disagree.
Fine. That's fine. I mean, with the greatest defense of all time, Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl.
True.
I mean, they didn't let up a touchdown for what?
But they had
regular
But
season
that was an
weeks?
all-time great defense.
That's the exception, not the rule. If you want to rely, if you think the Eagles are anywhere close to what the 2001 Ravens were doing, you're out of your mind. The 2001 Ravens are not giving up 35 points to Jared Goff.
The 2001 Ravens. That was one of the
which
all-time.
is what the Eagles did yesterday.
That's not fair to compare.
2001.
There's
I didn't.
No, there's only three.
Doug Zeke wants to bring up the point that Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl. End of story. But
yeah, but no, that's
those Ravens special teams
weren't
letting up a block punt for a touchdown against the Rams.
There were three.
It just didn't happen.
There were
didn't
some
make mistakes like that.
No, the Ravens defense was one of an all-time great defense, along with the '85 Bears. And the 84 49ers and the 86 Giants. You're talking about some of the great defensive teams of all time there. I don't think the Eagles are quite on that level defensively right now. Not with all the injuries they have.
No.
There's no way.
They have a linebacker core. I mean, they're on their third or fourth middle linebacker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're banged up, and they're banged up
defensively. Their corners are okay. They're not great. They have really good safety play.
Really good. Really good.
And then Doug Zeke, even Eli has 2 rings. Well, Eli Manning's going to go in the Hall of Fame one day.
Eli has 2 rings.
I know it's fun to kick the Giants right now because they're down and out, and they tarnished Eli with busting his streak up like that. But Eli earned those 2 rings. He beat Tom Brady twice on the grandest stage of them all.
And he also had two rallies in the last 2 minutes of both of those games to win those games. So
ice in his veins he had in those Super Bowls.
I mean
and I don't like Eli Manning. I don't like the Giants. I don't like New York. But the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Eli Manning.
It's not Eli Manning.
If you think if you're trying to compare Nick Foles to Eli Manning, I mean, save your breath.
That's a bad comparison.
Save your breath.
You're wrong if you think Nick Foles is better than Eli Manning. Although at this point of his career, I don't even know with Eli Manning. But the problem with Eli Manning is the Giants have no receivers. They have no offensive line. the guys can't catch the ball. They can't run the ball. So when he throws to the guys, they're always dropping passes. So I don't even know. He did miss a couple of passes yesterday, Eli, to guys that were open. But, if he would have hit them, they probably would have dropped it anyway, because that's kind of how the season's been going. So I don't know about that. As far as Clay, you're saying that the Steelers are overrated. You are what your record says you are. They're 10-2, and they've got the three superstars on their team: Ben Roethlisberger, Bell, and Antonio Brown. So I really, I would tend to disagree.
I'm worried about their defense without Shazier against the Patriots, though.
Well, again, though, they're going to play the Patriots in Pittsburgh, and that's for them. That's huge. So we'll see. They are a team that did get their butts kicked against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we'll see. There are. If you look at the top of the AFC, there are some pretty good teams in the very top of the AFC. But the AFC on a whole is terrible, just awful. So
yeah, it's a shame that some of these NFC teams are going to be left out, and you got just trash teams like the Titans and the Jaguars.
Well,
going to be in on the
that's
on
not
the
fair.
AFC side of
that's
it.
not fair
No,
to say
it's
that
totally
about
fair.
The Jaguars. No, the Jaguars have played good football. They've had some quality wins this year.
Be a break with Blake Bortles.
Yeah, I know, but their defense is good.
I'd be more.
I think their defense it might be the best defense in the NFL right now, statistically anyway.
Eagles have a lot of weapons. We need to run the ball more and limit Foles. Defense needs to step up. We will be fine. Maybe. I hope so.
They'll be better. We're still getting some reports from Cody, from Clay Ferguson and Bleeding Green. The AFC better not sleep on the Chargers. I'm sleeping on the Chargers. They're not going to win. They still invent ways to lose. And, the Chargers, they were held to 9 points by the Jags. I'm trying to tell you, the Jags defensively are as good as anybody right now.
Okay.
I personally don't like Blake.
You could ride the
Bortles
Jaguars
either.
right into the ground with Blake Bortles.
Are they going to? No,
He
they
blows.
won't get. They're going to be this. They're going to be the third or fourth place team, right? They'll be the third place team probably based on their record. So in all likelihood, you're looking at them playing. Who are they going to play? The Ravens in the playoffs, or?
It's a loss.
Oh, I think they'll beat the Ravens.
No.
Well, the Ravens' defense didn't exactly shine last night, that's for sure.
Home field advantage in a bye week could make difference in getting our team to rally around Foles. There's a chance of that happening. Yeah, I think the Eagles will get a first-round bye. I think they're going to beat the Giants next week because the Giants are god-awful.
They're terrible. They should win. They should beat them. They'll slaughter Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oakland's terrible.
Whether it's a slaughter, I don't know if it'll be a slaughter.
Rob, Oakland barely beat the Giants 2 weeks ago.
It's true.
The Giants should have won that game.
Eagles,
okay?
Patriots, see in Minnesota. I can't agree with you, Doug. I'm sorry. I love the enthusiasm, Doug, and thanks for listening, but I can't sit here and say that right now. Not without Carson Wentz. Great run game or great defense. They just need a pulse at quarterback. Jags would smash Baltimore. Haha. I don't agree with that at all. You need way more than a pulse at quarterback in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you need a good quarterback. Jacksonville is not going to beat a team like New England in the playoffs. There's no way that's going to happen because defensively, as good as they are, Bill Belichick will figure out a scheme that'll work, and the Patriots will put a lot of points on the board just like they always do. And I don't know what they're doing tonight. I guess the game just started because it's 8:30. But
yes, Dennis, it is really cold in this room. That's why I have my vintage 1990s starter jacket on.
Oh, that's great.
And I found my hat. I left it here last week. That's why I couldn't find it all week. So I'm good to go.
I gotcha. But listen, Edgar Venzer, don't be so depressed, okay? It's not over.
Depressed.
Don't be depressed over it, okay? It's only football. You don't have to be
real.
Don't be depressed.
Real fan of competition there.
Yeah, don't be depressed. Look,
He's probably a fan of participation trophies as well.
I mean, listen, Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl with the Giants, okay, when Phil Simms got hurt. And I remember when Phil Simms got hurt against Buffalo, the Giants were 10-1. And they were actually ended up being 10-2, and boy, that was upsetting because the Giants looked the part of a Super Bowl champion that year. And you know what, Jeff Hostetler was good enough. Was he great? No, but he was good enough, and the Giants played great defense, and the Giants ran the ball a lot, so they were able to keep the ball and not let the other team score. And the defense was very good, and that's kind of what the Eagles are going to have to do. They're not going to quite be as explosive as they were before, but I think this is a talented enough team to put some points on the board. But
Chris Lyons, Eagles' game plan has to change. Super slow drives with jailbreak defense.
I don't think it's quite that bad. I mean, you guys are making you're making Nick Foles out to be Geno Smith. I mean, he's not that bad, guys.
Out of playoff quarterbacks, who would you rank your trust in each? I'm going to assume, Mike, you mean the NFC. Because Brady and Roethlisberger would be at the tippy top of that list. I would put Russell Wilson third on that list if they were able to get in. Cam Newton's been to a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl. These are all quarterbacks that are better than Nick Foles.
Breeze,
yeah, he's not what he was, but
he's still pretty good, though.
I would take him over Nick Foles. Trust him over Nick Foles.
I'll
take Case Keenum over Nick Foles, and here's why. The Vikings have been playing.
Better arm.
The Vikings have been playing with Case Keenum the whole year. There's no shock value adjustment that the Vikings have to make.
Case Keenum's played well for them.
Efficient.
Case Keenum's played well for them.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't go from Carson Wentz to Case Keenum in Week 14.
No. You're right. But Case Keenum's played well.
It's going to be a huge culture shock for this team.
Listen, Case Keenum yesterday, the Carolina Panthers were ahead by 11 points with 5 minutes to go, and Case Keenum got the 11 points back in the last 5 minutes of that game. I mean, the Vikings, unfortunately for them, they couldn't hold the Panthers, and the Panthers won a very big game. But don't blame Keenum for that. Keenum has really played well. I was impressed with him on Thanksgiving, and every time I see Minnesota, they seem to be right there. How do you like that game in Buffalo, by the way, yesterday?
I was at a game like that a couple years ago in 2013.
With a foot of snow?
Yeah, with a lot. It wasn't quite that much, but there was a lot of it. Against the Lions. LaShawn McCoy has set the franchise record for rushing.
Yeah, and guess who had the big touchdown yesterday?
LaShawn McCoy. He likes the snow.
Yes, he does. Boy, I mean, that was crazy. I've never seen so much snow in a football game ever. That's got to be the all-time most snow I've ever seen. Let's see. We got some. Pretty Boy wants to compare the 2000 Eagles offense to the 2013 Eagles offense to the 2017 Eagles offense. The talent is significantly better. So I don't think there's any comparison.
On what team?
There. The Eagles. The 2013 offense compared to the 2017 offense, I think the offense is significantly better now. As far as the receivers.
Significantly?
Well, if you look at the receivers and the running backs, you don't have Sproles, but
you had McCoy and Sproles.
Oh yeah, McCoy. That's right. I forgot about McCoy.
You had Macklin and Deshaun with Ertz and
that was a pretty.
Ertz was there. Selleck was there. The line was really good. I do like this offense better in 2017, but to say it's significantly better, I'm not buying that. This offense doesn't even have Peters. Doesn't have a solid left tackle.
That's true.
An all-pro left tackle.
I forgot about McCoy. It's probably about the same. Look, again, you have to just wait and see what happens, and you have to see who they play. I mean, matchups do make a big difference, and it's way too early to surmise who they're going to play right now because there are so many teams fighting for those last two playoff spots. And to be quite honest with you, after the Eagles and the Vikings, the teams that win their divisions are certainly not going to be a lock to win those first 2 games.
Not at all, no.
On Wild Card Weekend.
Nothing's a lock in the NFC.
No, absolutely not. The only thing that's a lock is that you can pretty much count that the New England Patriots are going to be in the conference finals. Anything else, I can't really guarantee anything else. Pittsburgh will probably get there, but as you said, and which is true, Pittsburgh's been a weird team. They always find a way to win, but they have been a very weird team. Last night, who would have expected 39-38 between Pittsburgh and the Ravens?
I was expecting a slugfest.
Yeah, I was figuring. I mean, the over/under was, 41 in that game? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 41, and you get a 39-38 game.
They almost did it by themselves.
Yeah, that's because usually those are 2 teams. It's never more than 17-14, 20-17. Although last year, last year they had a pretty high-scoring game. That second game in Pittsburgh was a pretty high-scoring game. I think Flacco had 4 touchdown passes that game, but the Ravens defense gave it up, and they gave it up again. The Ravens are not good enough. Even if they make the playoffs, they're just not good enough.
Well, if they play a team like the Titans or the Jaguars in the first round, I would favor them in that game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the Ravens' offense is good enough to beat Jacksonville.
The Titans blow.
The Titans I don't like, but the Jaguars' defense is good, and they've proven they've gotten some big wins this year. I mean, did they beat New England this year? I think they.
No, they beat Pittsburgh.
They beat Pittsburgh and
yesterday.
Seattle. I mean, those are two quality wins.
Good luck with Blake Bortles in the playoffs. They'd be better served with Nick Foles.
I agree with you. I don't like Blake Bortles at all. Although he had one heck of a game yesterday.
I would maybe even take Nick Foles. I mean, you can't really say that at the last night, but Nick Foles isn't too far off from Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's not.
Yeah,
didn't do much for me.
That's a close one. That's a pretty close one. Yeah, I mean
he's got a much stronger arm.
Flacco?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flacco has a stronger arm than Foles, but Foles has more mobility. I mean, Flacco really can't move anymore. But I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be tough to. Really, at this point, it's impossible to know who they're going to play as far as the Eagles are concerned. AFC, though, right now, it just seems to me.
It's the Patriots.
It's the Patriots. It's
the Patriots now. It's going to be the Patriots in January.
Let me ask you a question.
The Patriots in February.
Let me ask you a question.
They're going to win it all.
Life on the line, do you really think that the Steelers are going to beat the Patriots even though they play in Pittsburgh?
No.
When is it, next week or the following week?
Week 15.
Okay, so that's in 2 weeks. They're going to be playing each other in Pittsburgh.
The answer is no.
If you put a gun to my head and said, "Life on the line, who you gonna play?" I mean, I'd have to go with the Patriots, even if the game's in Pittsburgh, because I've never seen Pittsburgh be able to stop them.
Nobody can stop him. It's Tom Brady.
No, I know that's the whole thing, and you can't blitz Tom Brady. If you blitz Tom Brady, he can see it from a mile away, and you're going to end up, every time you blitz, you're going to end up having a screen pass thrown at you, or you're going to have a quick dump out, you're going to have a quick slant in or something like that, and they're going to run the ball at like 70, 80 yards for a touchdown. So you just can't play that way. You've got to.
They are down 3-0 right now to the Miami Dolphins. Does that alter your opinion, Brad?
So they'll win 20.
No, you're not worried about a 3-0 deficit 5 minutes into the game?
No, I don't think that would be really a problem. I think
me neither.
I could see that game being 31-10.
It could be generous.
Yeah,
maybe they'll take the foot off the gas and it'll be 31-10.
Well, listen. Sometimes
Miami stinks.
You never know. I know, but you never know when you have a division game. But I wouldn't.
Whenever they go down there to Florida, though, they seem to tend to sleepwalk.
Yeah, a little bit, but I just can't imagine that. You know what? They've got too much on the line to be doing that. One thing about the Patriots, they do love playing at home, and they definitely want home field advantage.
I mean, you talk about the Titans. They lost to the Cardinals yesterday, 12-7.
Now the Titans are not good, and they lost what was that score against Pittsburgh? 41-16 on that Monday night game.
They got throttled.
Yeah, they're just not good. Yeah, they have been a very disappointing team.
Poor Browns. I thought they had it yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get one.
Okay, so Clay Ferguson thinks that Leonard Fournette's the key for Jacksonville. I agree, and Brady's weakness is with a pass rush and bump and run coverage. Okay, well, any team that has a real strong pass rush is going to make the quarterback not as good. I mean, even Wentz wasn't very good against Seattle because Seattle put on a huge pass rush against him. No quarterback is going to be great against the pass rush. So that might be true, but when do you ever see Tom Brady get really rushed a lot? It's not really all that often. I mean, he did against Denver a couple of years ago in the championship game, the year that Denver won the Super Bowl, but Denver had an elite defense that year. I don't think anybody in the AFC, and I don't think anybody really has that kind of a defense that can shut them down. To be Minnesota, maybe, but that's still that team just
the
can score against
Patriots
anybody.
And Tom Brady and their game plan, their coaching staff. If you give them an inch, they're taking 4 miles.
Oh, I agree, and I think I just got a note here. It's that somebody just said that Brady threw an interception. I don't care if he throws 10 interceptions against the Dolphins in a big spot
when the money's down.
In the fourth quarter,
he's going to throw 0 interceptions.
In the fourth, listen,
and a bunch of touchdowns.
How did he play against Atlanta last year for the first 3 quarters, and then what happened in the fourth quarter? And you can tell me how Atlanta choked and how the coach gave it away.
They
and
still
yeah,
had to make the plays.
He
still had to make
they
the plays.
did, but you know what? Did they get down there and score every time they had the ball? The answer to that question is yeah. So I mean, at this point.
So who are the 6 playoff teams in the NFC going to be, Brad?
Okay, if you're asking me right now, and again, I did look at the schedule.
Who are the 6 best teams in the NFC?
Well,
I should say.
I would say at this point it's going to be Atlanta and Seattle are going to make the playoffs. I think Carolina is the odd man out.
And Dallas and Green Bay
out short. I think Dallas and Green Bay come out short, and I think obviously the Rams, Vikings, and Eagles are the other 3. So they're
missing one, right?
No, the 4 division winners are going to be the
Eagles are clinched.
The Eagles are in, obviously. The Vikings are in. The Saints.
Okay, the Saints.
The Saints.
Okay.
Either the Seahawks or Rams are going to win the West.
I like the Rams.
Yeah.
I like the Rams. I think they're a better team than Seattle.
I do too, and I think Seattle will be one of the wild cards, and I think Atlanta will be the other wild card. And I think the team that's going to be out of it is going to be the Carolina Panthers. I just think I could see the Panthers going 1-2.
Todd Gurley,
got 2 tough games.
He's a special player.
Yeah, he's great.
He could take over a playoff game easily, and Goff is not bad.
No,
he runs the ball violently, that Todd Gurley.
Yeah, he does. Goff still makes some mistakes, and I would wonder about him in a playoff game. I mean, he made a couple of dandies yesterday. That fumble that one fumble cost him the game.
Yeah, but that was a really good play by Chris Long. You're talking about the fumble at the end with what 8 minutes to go, something like that.
But you got to be careful with the football.
Right, but I mean, Long was down and out and just kept on chugging.
Oh, he made a nice play, but again, he's got to be more careful. I just don't know about him in a playoff game. You know, rookie second-year quarterback in a playoff game like that. I mean, listen, Goff last year did not have the kind of year Wentz did. Wentz last year played every game and was pretty solid last year.
In fairness to Jared Goff, he had a complete bozo as his head coach and
Agreed.
an even bigger bozo as his offensive coordinator.
Agreed.
They wouldn't give the ball to Todd Gurley. You see how good Todd Gurley is.
Todd Gurley is a beast. He's a beast.
And
the Rams
leadership.
One thing about the Rams, they will score. They can score on anybody.
That Cooper Kupp, he's a little pain in the ass too.
He certainly is.
He was running all over the place, wide open the whole day.
I mean, they are a very difficult team to defend. They really
They were
are.
short one of their starting wide receivers as well. Robert Woods did not play yesterday.
Yeah,
he
also
was having a very good season before he sprained his AC joint.
They also had their two corners were also out after the first quarter.
The corners they put in
they weren't bad.
Not slouches at all.
No, but I'm just saying their starting corners were out, and I think they still did a pretty good job, to be honest with you. I mean, keep in mind that is the Eagles that you're playing against, who are the best offensive team in football right now.
They were. We'll see how it translates with Nick Foles in there as opposed to Carson Wentz. But getting back to Scanzano's sports poll question today, can the Eagles win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles at quarterback? Can they? No.
I don't think so.
They can't.
No.
They can't.
No.
Sorry.
I don't
They could have
can.
maybe beat the Patriots if Carson Wentz was not injured.
I agree. I agree that the Eagles would be, I don't know if they would have won, but they would be favored in every game that they played for the rest of the season, including all playoff games. I would with Wentz, I would give them that. I don't know that I can do that.
Defense
with
and run game has to step up. We have enough quality backs to run on most teams, Bob Brinkman. I agree with that. We cannot afford turnover, and our special teams needs to boost. We need to try a new return man. Barner has not had a good return in too long. Yeah, now that he mentions that, Barner hasn't had a good return in a while. Who are you going to put back there, though? Sproles is on IR, just like Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Bob Brinkman, our coaches, will have Foles ready. He will not need to carry the team. Well, he's incapable of carrying the team. He's just not that type of player. He's not that type of talent. So I hope the coaches have something up their sleeve when it comes to Nick Foles leading this team.
Well, we'll see. I think Doug is a pretty good coach, and I think they'll figure it out.
I watched his press conference today. I wanted to run through a wall after I listened to it.
You know, I was watching part of that press conference.
All on me.
I wanted.
I got to have the boys ready.
Yeah,
God bless them.
Yeah, you know what?
I hope it works out for him because, God forbid, they come out a little flat against the Giants, adjusting. Boy, they're going to be calling for that poor guy's head in about 30 seconds.
It's not going to matter.
Just like they were after the Chiefs game. Remember after the Chiefs game?
Yeah.
Everyone called in. They wanted him fired, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, for one loss.
For one loss.
They were going nuts last week when they lost to Seattle. Like
they were flat against Seattle, and I think part of that was Copen.
But a lot of teams lose in Seattle. It's not like they're the only ones that have done that. So I mean, we'll see what happens here. We got some more.
Who's the answer at return man, though?
You're gonna put one of the. You're gonna put one of the. You're gonna put one of the wide receivers back there.
Aguilar.
What is this now?
The return guy.
I was thinking of
Bob's
Aguilar.
not happy with Barner. He hasn't made a big play in a while. What's the answer, though? I agree with Bob now that he points it out.
I mean, one of the players I'm going to look at right now, I mean, you got to look at Matt Collins. I mean, he was a special teams guy at North Carolina. I mean, Aguilar is not a bad choice either, but I think I would like to see Aguilar as the kickoff guy. But if you're looking at punt returns, I think you got to go with Matt Collins at the moment.
I think you just got to worry about getting a guy back there that can catch the ball and not worry about that because you know what? At this point, you can't afford to have fumbles or anything like that.
Bob says Clement can return. I'd give him a shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can let him do it against the Giants and see if he catches the ball because the Giants will be punting all day long. So
a couple guys,
and it's going to be
and try out a couple guys.
Yeah, and it'll be very windy in Giant Stadium as it always is. So when the ball goes, the ball goes now. It goes from east to west now instead of north to south because they built the stadium in a different direction. So it's not easy to catch the ball there. So if somebody is successful there catching the ball, then that's your guy. If you want to try something. But, that the time to try for them right now, these next 3 games for the Eagles are like preseason games. They should be getting themselves ready. Hopefully not sustain any more crazy injuries because they just can't. You can't afford to have any more of these terrible injuries happening to them. And, at that point, then they move on. And then it'll be on to the playoffs.
Somber day in Philadelphia, Brad.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Hopefully Embiid will come back and play tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got his back.
Yeah, yesterday was a tough. I mean, I didn't even know about Embiid until I heard all of a sudden he wasn't playing. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but that's total. It's total bullshit that he's not in there against the Cavs. I mean, you actually have a chance against the Cavs with him in the middle there because LeBron can't just slash the basket at will.
No,
And
and
they
you
did the
guys
same-
were in that game
They
for a
almost
long
won.
time. Yeah,
They
no,
lost
I know.
by 4 or 6 points.
You were ahead for the till
But they
the middle
did the
of the fourth
same
quarter.
thing against Boston.
Yeah, I don't get
You
that.
put them in.
Yeah, against those teams, why not?
I mean, come on. I want to see how good they are, how close they are.
I mean, honestly, right now, I think right now, their ceiling this season is number 4. In the East, I think that's their ceiling. Anywhere from 4 to 8. I do think they'll make the playoffs. I can't see them having a better record than the Raptors, Cavaliers, or the Celtics, though.
No.
I can't see that. Not yet. You know, if LeBron leaves the Cavaliers, obviously, then
He's
then
going
I
to
think
leave
they
the Cavaliers. He's going to come to the Sixers.
or LA.
No, he's coming to the Sixers.
You think so?
He's not going to want to. He doesn't want to play with ball. No one does. They're a bunch of idiots.
I don't know. The only thing I worry about is he and George going to conspire to go out there together?
Who?
LeBron and George.
He's either going to the Sixers or he's going to go to the Rockets, or maybe he'll stay. I don't know.
How are the Rockets going to afford
I
him?
don't know.
How are they going to get him under the cap?
I don't know. He can do whatever he wants. He can sign for whatever he wants.
Yeah, no,
It's LeBron. He can do whatever he wants.
I know, but he'd have to practically play for free to get to get in there.
He doesn't need the money.
Yeah, I know, but his ego is not going to let him play for free.
I agree with that, but I mean,
yeah, I don't know
that's
how
the
they
sleeper
would.
team. Maybe the Spurs jump in there for him.
The Spurs
Put him
might
with
have
Leonard
some.
and Aldridge and make a run.
Yeah, the Spurs have
Pop.
the money to have the money in the.
He's gonna come to the Sixers. It makes
He
perfect
could.
sense.
He could.
I'm
I
good
don't-
at this stuff. What did I tell you about Stanton going to the Yankees?
No, you were right on about them, and I kept telling you I don't think that they're going to do it, and then I'm sitting there trying to figure out, well, why wouldn't they? Because their payroll was only like $155 million, and I'm saying to myself, they have about $42, $43 million to spend. Why not get Stanton? So that worked out okay. And speaking of that, we're going to be doing.
Are we taking a break,
hot-
Frank? Let's take a break.
We're
I
going to
can't
do the
wait.
hot stove.
I can't wait to talk baseball
All right.
after the break.
You guys want to get anticipated for the hot stove?
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait.
Let me start you guys up, and then we'll get you right into the break. So
Sports
play
Hounds.
us out.
Sports Hounds. Be right back right after this, talking MLB Hot Stove on the other side.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215 877-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome back, Sports Hounds. Rob Brakeman, Brad Ryer, Frank the Tank, behind the glass, producing the show. This Hot Stove segment of the show brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, Gibson Mayer Certified Accountants. Go visit them at gibsonmayer.com. Find out about all their services. Tax season coming up. They'll get you squared away. But Brad, I've bbeen telling you for weeks that Mike Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, to the New York Yankees.
Don't worry, I still call him Mike here and there.
Yeah, he'll always be Mike, the original Mike. But I've been telling you for weeks, it made too much sense for the Yankees not to be involved on Stanton Derek Jeter throws his boys up there in the Bronx, a little bit of a bone. They didn't really get much for him. They get some money.
Really, to be honest with you, though, it kind of fell in their laps.
Fell in their laps because he didn't want to play for the Cardinals or the Giants.
Exactly.
He wanted to play for the Dodgers. I think that's pretty obvious.
But the Dodgers wanted the Marlins to take Brandon McCarthy back.
Well, the Dodgers would have had to give money to the Marlins.
They wanted
because
the
of
Marlins.
The luxury tax.
They wanted the Marlins to take Brandon McCarthy back, and I can't remember. Was it Ethier or was it somebody else? It was one
Could
of
have
those
been
guys.
Ethier.
It was one of these guys that they're spending an ungodly amount of money. They wanted the Marlins to take back 2 big salaries, and that's why Jeter said no. So I mean, he basically did kind of fall into their laps. I mean, the Yankees were not even. I know they kicked the tires about a month ago just to talk to Derek Jeter about it, but they weren't even involved until Thursday. Until after all of a sudden he made the
because they listened to the Sports Hounds. They listened to me.
Obviously.
Now you don't have to get into a bidding war for Machado, who's probably going to get $400 million. Or Harper, who's probably going to make more than that.
Yeah, now they can go out and
now you're chilling with Stanton.
Now they can just go out
and Judge and your corner outfielders.
And next year, when all those great free agents are out there, you can go out and just worry about your pitching and not worry about any of these hitters.
Or just keep developing your farm system and just
that's true, but
feed guys in around.
Let me ask you this though. I mean, if and this probably is a pipe dream, but if Kershaw or Keuchel, who are scheduled to be free agents after this season,
now this is where you lose me as a New York fan.
No,
Brian.
I'm just asking you if they are available.
Because now your head's in the clouds and you got Stanton because your buddy Jeter threw you a bone.
But we don't have to go after these crazy free agent hitters now. You have some pitchers out there. They're going to be under the threshold of the luxury tax. Now they can get a guy and not have to pay, 50 cents on the dollar extra for him. If one of these guys are available, that's probably where they would go. They wouldn't be going for offense anymore.
How about Aaron Boone?
You know what? We'll see about him. I'm not going to say yes or no.
His job's certainly a lot easier now.
Well, yeah. Listen, yeah. His most difficult assignment is to try to figure out. Well, should I put the lefties between Judge, Sanchez, and Stanton, or should I just let them hit back to back to back? That's going to be his most difficult decision because he's got those guys, and then you've got Gregorius and Bird in the lineup. Gardner is still going to be your leadoff hitter. Hicks is still going to be the center fielder, and at this point they've got the great bullpen. They still could use another starter, although
I think that's a mistake to DH Stanton.
Well, they could put him in left and DH Gardner or DH Hicks if you want.
That's a mistake. He's a career National League player. I think taking him completely out of the field.
I don't think they're going to take
him.
I don't think they're going to take him completely out of the field. I think that he and Judge and Gardner are going to split the duties out in the outfield, and that way nobody has to take on the entire responsibility. I don't think you're going to see Stanton playing 162 games as the DH. He'll be out there. He'll be out there plenty. I think, though, that they are going to give him most of the games as DH. But certainly when they play the National League teams, he's going to be in left field, or Judge will be in left field.
How good are the Yankees now? Are they better than the Astros?
You know what? I need to see the Yankees beat them before I make that declaration. Because I don't want to.
I don't think they are. I would still favor the Astros.
We'll see. You know what? I would like to see the Yankees get another pitcher. Because right now with they have 4 pitchers. I don't know if Chance Adams or Justice Winslow are ready. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I would like to see them get one more pitcher. If it means to bring back Sabathia, okay. If they bring back one of these guys,
seems to make the most sense.
Yeah, but if Sabathia wants 2 years, the Yankees aren't going to do it. I know the Yankees, the offer out there was 1 year, $10 million. And to be honest with you, the amount of money that the Yankees have already paid Sabathia, Sabathia has made an ungodly amount of money already from the Yankees.
Sabathia pitched well last year.
He did, and he pitched pretty well the year before that, but for the majority of that contract, he was not good. I mean, he was good from 2009 to 2012. 13, he was bad. 14, bad. 15, bad. Pretty good in 16. Outstanding this year. Really had a good year this year. I think I wouldn't mind seeing him for another year, but they're not going to want to sign him for more than a year. They've got Adams and they've got Winslow in the farm. They're expecting these guys, and they've got this other guy, Albert Abreu, who's also supposed to be a stud, who they got in the McCann trade. So, I mean, they've got 3 big-time pitchers in the farm system. They're not going to get involved right now long-term with a pitcher. That's why they're not going to go after a guy like Cobb. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be in on Darvish, and they're not going to be in on the guy from the Cubs, whose name escapes me, Jake Arrieta. They're not going to be in on him either. So these 3 guys who want to get the big bucks, they're not going to be able to use the Yankees as leverage, because the Yankees are not going to get involved in these guys. They're basically looking at between $10 and $15 million to get a pitcher, and all those guys are going to want more money than that. And the Yankees are not going to get themselves involved in a deal like that now. It's not going to happen. Not when you got guys in the minor leagues to bring up. It makes no sense for them to do that. Maybe
what
next
if they
year,
traded for Garrett Cole?
Okay, well,
seems to be a lot of smoke there. I don't know if it'll happen or how much the Pirates will want, but
I can't see
Garrett Cole
happen.
is pretty good.
You know what? If Garrett Cole is also a free agent after this season too.
That's correct.
The only way I see Garrett Cole coming to the Yankees is at the trade deadline. I don't see it during the offseason. Why would the Pirates just give up on the season?
Because the Pirates aren't good.
Yeah, but you still have to sell tickets and market your team. So, I mean, there is a certain marketing aspect of it about giving up before the season starts.
But the Pirates have had their run there. They've sold out the Jolly Roger Stadium, or they call that stupid thing out there in Pittsburgh.
PNC, isn't that PNC Bank
Yeah,
Stadium?
but don't they call their fans the Jolly Rogers or something? That stupid
silly
mascot
like
that they have.
The Pirate Parrot.
Yeah.
The Jolly Roger.
What's the Jolly Roger?
Jolly Roger, I believe, is after a Pirates win, kind of like how the Cubs raised the W flag, or how the Phillies ring the Liberty Bell.
Well, it's Pittsburgh. They're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, they're nothing. McCutchen is washed. Starling Marte is.
Well, he didn't play for 80 games last year either.
Yeah, but
that didn't help.
He's got no pop. All he's good at is running.
Is Kang going to be able to play, or is he still stuck in?
Well, good luck getting him in the country with Trump in charge.
Yeah, probably not. What's going on with Harrison? Is he going to play, or
Josh Harrison is in the middle of a bunch of trade rumors.
Yeah, where's he going?
Mainly going to the Los Angeles Angels, potentially, which would be a fantastic move for the Angels.
What about you guys? Is there any truth to Hernandez going for one of their pitchers?
I think that is also a no-brainer for the Angels. Look, the Phillies are going to be going with Scott Kingery at second base. Writing's pretty much on the wall there. I would be shocked if Cesar Hernandez was on the Phillies, is in spring training for the Phillies. It's pretty disappointing because I think he's a good player. If the Angels were to be the team that got him, that would be quite a grab for them because I don't think they'd have to give up that much.
Well, they're going to have to give up a pitcher.
Yeah, that's great. That's
one of their
perfect. That
pitchers.
works out for
They're not
both.
gonna, listen,
that would work out for both ways.
You're not going to get Richards from them, but I mean, you and I have discussed this before.
Tyler Skaggs, that would be a fair trade.
Skaggs would be a fair trade because Skaggs is good, but Skaggs was hurt a lot last year. So I mean, the Phillies would be taking a little bit of an inherited risk, but the ceiling is very, very high for a guy like Tyler Skaggs. I mean, he would be your second pitcher, no doubt. I mean,
right.
He's good. If
they listen to my plan and sign Alex Cobb for 5 years, $85 million,
what is that? 17 a year? Yeah.
What's he going to get? Isn't
that? Yeah, that's about
right.
That's about right.
I'm pushing on the fifth year because I want to get him.
Yeah, no,
I think he's good.
Oh, he's very good. Alex Cobb is a solid pitcher.
And then I'm signing Eric Hosmer to play first base and moving Hoskins to left field.
Do you think Hosmer? Now I've heard a lot about the Padres getting involved with Hosmer.
The Padres are trying to make a splash. They're
they're
on
really-
Ohtani, who went to the Angels.
Yeah, they're. I heard they're heavily into Hosmer. I mean, they've been pretty heavily involved in a lot of.
Hosmer would make no sense for them because they have Will Myers at first base.
I know,
and
that's-
he can't
well-
play the outfield anymore because of his wrist surgeries.
Oh, is that why he can't play the outfield?
He's a tremendous first baseman. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't play. You don't think he could play left? Because he was a pretty good outfielder.
maybe.
When he's with Tampa Bay,
I
he
guess
was a
if
good
they sign
outfielder.
Hosmer, I guess it's no different than moving Hoskins to left field for the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, I've also heard Kane out there too. I've also heard the Giants are trying.
Giants are in on
Giants are
Kane.
in on Kane too. And
looks like the Angels are going to make a run at Moustakas, which is a no-brainer for them. Their left-handed hitting last year was terrible, and Luis Valbuena and Yunel Escobar are just not going to get it done at third base.
I've heard.
League.
I've heard the Mets are also in on Moustakas. Boy, he would be perfect for them. Sounds like Bruce right now is. They're still talking about possibly Cleveland still interested in him. The Mets want to bring him back.
Yeah, but Jay
the
Bruce
Angels,
and Carlos Santana, I feel like they're guys that are going to get signed on like the second wave of free agents.
You know what I like? If you're asking me who I'd rather have between Bruce and Santana, I would much rather have Santana. He doesn't strike out as much.
They're the same type of player.
Yeah, well, they're both going to be about 250, 260 and hit a lot of home runs. I don't know. I always really liked Santana. Santana has also been a guy that's killed the Yankees. So, I mean, I look at it, obviously, from a Yankee point of view that I think Santana's a better hitter than Bruce. Because Bruce had the one home run in game 2, but Bruce really wasn't all that great a player in the playoffs against the Yankees this past season. So I've heard a lot about him. The Angels seem to be a team that wants to spend the money again.
I think that's where Moustakas is going to go.
It makes sense. I mean, if the Angels want to get back to the playoffs again,
which I think they're well on their way in doing with Ohtani.
Well, Ohtani with Ohtani, Trout, and Pujols. If Pujols can bounce back, you're going to have some guys who can hit the ball there.
Well, Cole Calhoun can hit the ball.
Yeah, he can.
They add Ohtani to a pretty decent with Richards and Skaggs if he's still there.
Now the question is, can Ohtani hit the ball?
Well, Ohtani is going to pitch his first season exclusively, according to their.
They're not going to let him DH.
We'll see if they let him DH. He will not play the field in his rookie season.
Right. The only thing I can see with him is.
So they say.
Here's another question. On the days that he pitches, is he going to be batting fourth?
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
I'm just curious.
I would say no.
Training,
I think the guy's going to be a top 10 pitcher within the next 2 years.
You never know. He could be a top 10 pitcher this year. I mean,
he could be. I think he's got unbelievable stuff. I think the new posting system really allowed the Angels to make a big splash without spending $150, $160 million.
Look at how good Tanaka has been with the Yankees. I mean, he had a terrible first half this year, but second half of the season he was outstanding. Especially in the playoffs. I mean, he was unhittable in the playoffs. So, I mean, the Japanese guys the pitchers can definitely pitch. And you know what? Matsui was one hell of a hitter. So, anybody who thinks that some of these Japanese guys can't do it, you're wrong. Yu Darvish is another one. Very good pitcher.
Another guy who's a free agent.
Wouldn't go near him, though.
Why? Why?
I don't like the way he pitched in the World Series.
I mean, okay.
I just don't. And you know what? He's had a lot of injuries the last couple of years. He would scare me away. I wouldn't want to get in on him. He would scare me with the injury history lately, and also the way he just completely melted down twice against the Houston Astros in a big spot.
I mean, I guess that's fair. He's by far the best pitcher on the market. He's definitely an ace caliber pitcher.
Oh, so he is. He is. But you know when you're going
to get paid by someone.
If you're looking at the top teams, though, who are expected to make the postseason performance is important. I mean that does account for something. Here's my question: is Houston going to go out there and make a splash and get another pitcher?
They might get Yu Darvish, from what I read.
I know they're talking about it. do they have enough money in the budget for him?
I guess that's up to the Houston Astros.
Yeah. They did take on a big obligation with Verlander, though.
They did.
That was a big one. So
that would make me seem they're kind of a cheaper team down there in Houston, but maybe World Series success will change that.
Yeah, but also all the money that they probably made last year, with all those extra playoff games, you got to think that would, as far as revenue is concerned, you got to think that they have a little extra money to spend. So they could be in on one of those pitchers. I don't know. To be honest with you, Rob, between Arrieta and Darvish, I'm not crazy about either one of those pitchers. I'd rather pay less money and get Cobb if it was me, because Arrieta to me has thrown a lot of innings. He was hurt a lot last year.
Arrieta, no. I'd rather spend $160 million on Darvish than sign Arrieta.
Yeah, I would too. But again, I'm worried about Darvish's health too. I don't know if I'd want to spend all that money on him either, to be quite honest with you. I think you'd be better off if you're going to spend a lot of money on a pitcher to either trade for one or wait for the following season when there's going to be a lot more available.
I think the $1 million question at the winter meetings is Manny Machado. Now that Giancarlo Stanton has found a home in New York, will the Orioles pull the trigger on a Manny Machado deal?
I don't think they will until the trade deadline.
Well, they're going to get they should have traded him last trade deadline, but
well, that would have been
missed
the
that
thing.
opportunity.
Yeah, they did. But, I mean, if you're the Orioles, and again, I'm just looking at it from purely a marketing standpoint, are you going to sell out on your fans now?
Yeah, but the fans of Baltimore are smart. The Orioles stink.
But they won't. But they won't show up if they trade Machado. They're not going to show up.
They're not going to show up when they have Machado and they're in last place either.
Well, we'll see about if they go out and try to get some pitching. Because if they don't get some pitching, they're going to end up right where they were last year.
They're just a stale core. They need to change it up.
They do.
And Machado is the only player there that's going to get him anything of significance.
You don't think they could get something for Jones?
Not as much. I mean, Jones is 32, 33 years old.
Jones is going to be a free agent also.
Yeah, but 32-year-old okay center fielder or 24-year-old superstar?
He's
in Machado. They should trade them both. They should have traded them both last year.
You're right. I mean, Jones was.
They're done.
They've
was
gone.
They made the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah, I think
they're done
right.
there.
What about Zach Britton? He's another one.
Should have been traded at the trade deadline last year.
Does Houston go out and try to get him?
That would be a wise choice, in my opinion.
That would be a scary thing if you're a Yankee fan to see Houston go out and get him, because that would be the prudent thing to do for the Houston Astros. Instead of spending all their money on starting pitching or going out and getting another bat, getting a guy like him when clearly their issue is their bullpen. Because I'm sorry, I don't care how many saves Ken Giles had last year. Ken Giles in a big spot spit the bit against the Yankees without question. He was not good in the playoffs last year. Zach Britton would be just a devastating pitcher for them to get.
Yeah, there should be 29 teams looking for Zach Britton services. He's that good.
Oh, he is a beast. Well, if you figure the guy in the Dodgers, Jansen, is probably the best one right now.
He's good.
He's really
Britton's
good.
just as good as him.
Britton's
just as good as Chapman as New York. Craig Kimbrell bounced back in Boston.
Kimbrell is very good. The guy in Cleveland is pretty good too. The closer, I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I'm blanking as well.
Yeah, I'm blanking, but it's not Miller. It's the one that
Indians closer.
The
Not
Indians
Andrew Miller.
closer. Let's figure that
I'm
out.
blanking on him, but he's really good.
Cody Allen.
Cody Allen.
Yeah,
Allen. He's very good. He's very good. He's pretty much automatic.
Phillies
as well.
checking in on Machado. I like that move for the Phillies. You give him. They're saying Sixto Sanchez would have to be in the deal. The Phillies' number one prospect.
But can you sign him long term? Because you don't want to give up your number one prospect.
Well, the Phillies would have 72 out if a trade was agreed upon, according to MLB.com. Who wrote this article? Just the MLB.com staff.
Okay.
It says they would have 72 hours to sign Manny Machado to a free agent contract extension, so they wouldn't lose him after the season.
Well, then you have to do it. If you're the Phillies, you have to.
But if you agree upon a trade, then are able to talk to his agent for 72 hours to hammer something out. Why not agree upon something so you can talk to him?
Well, a lot of times, though, when you agree to a trade, okay, before it's official,
I have
they
no
will
problem
let you
giving
do
up
that.
Sixto Sanchez in a package to
for
obtain
him?
Manny Machado.
Listen, Manny Machado, not only is he one of the best offensive third basemen in baseball, he's also probably the best defensive third baseman in baseball. Hands down, that guy
I'm not
is
so sure he's not a better shortstop than he is a third baseman.
He's a vacuum cleaner wherever you put him. He's an unbelievable.
He had a
third
bad
baseman.
first half last year, but he really turned it up in the second half of the season. He
was-
still had over 30 home runs.
Yeah, he had 33 home runs in when he had a terrible first
It's
half.
a down year.
Well, for him it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had him on my fantasy team. Boy, the first half of the season, and then all you guys are trying to steal him from me.
Oh
my
that's
God,
how
yeah.
it works. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
oh,
good
I
for
know.
you to hold on to him.
Well, yeah, that's just more being pig-headed.
But
you know,
who's
and
the
anything else.
Orioles shortstop?
Right now?
Yeah.
Good question, because you know what, J.J. Hardy is gone, so I'm not
they
sure
could
who
maybe use a guy like Freddie
Wait
Galvis.
a minute, didn't they got the guy from Tampa Bay? What was his name? God, I can't remember the guy. They got somebody from Tampa Bay last year to play shortstop.
Tim Beckham.
Tim Beckham, thank you.
Former number 1 overall pick in the
And
in
he
the MLB
really
draft.
turned it on for them.
He
But-
can hit, but he's a bad defensive
So, it
shortstop.
sounds like
I
they
don't
could-
know if they. I think they want to put him in the outfield.
So it sounds like they could use a guy like Freddie Galvis to play at shortstop every day to make room for J.P. Crawford at shortstop.
That would probably be something that they would have to consider.
So you got Sixto Sanchez, you got Freddie Galvis. Give him Franco, fill the void at third. Even
What are you
going
gonna
to
do?
Stinks.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with the pitching though? Because the Orioles really need pitching.
Well, Sixto Sanchez is a
Is he a pitcher?
good as prospect as there is in the major
Okay,
leagues.
no, because if he's a pitcher, because that's what the Orioles.
He's a
really
20-year-old Dominican stud. Strikes out a bunch of guys. He's number 47 overall, according to MLB Pipeline. He's even higher, depending on what ranking you look.
need. Well, he's maybe 47 as far as all the players, but as far as the rank of pitcher, I guarantee you, he's not the 47th best pitcher in
No.
Major League Baseball. He's probably in the top 10, which is, because.
Whatever you got to do. It's Manny
Yeah.
Machado.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I agree with you, and you guys desperately need a star.
Then you re-sign him. Then I would have to revise my free agent selections for the Phillies.
Well, yeah, no. If you make a move like that, then the only thing I would worry about with Machado is
Nothing. There's
is-
nothing to worry about with Machado.
No, the only thing I would worry is if he would want to sign here. That's the only thing I just.
Well, then
wondering.
you pull out of the trade if you can't get a deal done within that 72-hour window.
That's the only thing that it's a no-brainer to get him. Guy's a great player. I mean, he's as good a defensive player as he is an offensive player, and he is a great offensive player. I mean, the guy is like Brooks Robinson out there. Seriously, he's that good defensively. I mean, there isn't a play I haven't seen him make. It's like Omar Vizquel playing third base. If you remember Omar Vizquel when he played for the Indians.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's that good defensively.
He's
Nothing
a
gets
stud.
by hit. Yeah, no, he's and you have a guy like that
He's
who's
worth
going to hit.
$35 million a year. That's
you know,
what a
in-
player like him costs.
in
when
Philadelphia-
you factor in his age, his offensive skill set, and his defensive
And you know what?
skill set.
You put him in Philadelphia in that ballpark. It's going to be the same thing as Camden Yards because it's just.
Because
as
then you're
easy to
getting
hit a
somewhere.
home
You
run.
got 24-year-old Machado. Is that how old he is? 24?
25.
25.
Oh, listen. It's a no-brainer.
Then you have Crawford. You already have Herrera in center. You got Kingery at second. You got Hoskins.
you now have
at first.
You officially would have a.
That's
focal
turning
point.
the corner offensively.
You have a focal point in your offense. You have a legitimate 3 and 4 hitter. You could put Hoskins third. You could put Manny Machado fourth, back to back, and you know what? Now you have a scary middle of the order. Now
You have
a-
Herrera in the 2-hole or the leadoff spot, wherever you want to put him.
Exactly. And
I think Carlos Gonzalez on a 1-year show-me deal makes a lot of sense for a team like the Phillies.
listen, there are a lot of outfielders that you can go out and try to get. It's not just. I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you. I mean, if the Yankees were to trade Ellsbury to the Phillies and pay most of the salary, he would make sense too. as a leadoff hitter.
No, he wouldn't. I wouldn't. No.
You wouldn't want him as a center fielder?
No. I'd rather play the kids at the corner like Althair
Okay.
and
No,
and
I'm just
Nick Williams.
want a guy like him, or maybe Brett
no.
Gardner. No, you don't want Gardner.
Brett Gardner, that's different.
Okay, because I was going to say there's a chance the Yankees might be looking to trade him
I would definitely
too.
take Brett Gardner, put him in left, Herrera in center,
He'd be-
and then
He'd be a guy
figure out
that
right.
he might be a guy that might be available too. I mean, the
Brett
Yankees have
Gardner
6.
nearly hit 30 home runs last year. Is that
No, he had 22, I think.
22?
22 or 23. That's unusual for him, though.
But that's fine. He can run the bases. He plays
He
great
plays
left
a
field.
good left field. Plays a good left field, but
He's
he
a
hits.
solid ball player.
Oh yeah, no, he's clutch.
How much would what would you be looking to
That
get for him?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends on how much money you're going to take. He makes 13. He's on his last year.
Even though I don't value some of these prospects that websites like
Yeah.
MLBpipeline.com
I don't know
value,
I don't know what
it seems like people around baseball value the Phillies farm system.
Well, you have a
I
very
don't
good.
get.
You have a very good farm system. Problem is, you haven't brought any of these guys up yet to play. That's why you still have a. That's why you still have a. The Yankees had a great farm system last year. They've traded a lot of guys, and now a lot of guys are going to be up. So now the farm system is obviously not as deep.
Yeah, but you look at
once
former
they graduate,
first overall pick Mickey Moniak, who can't seem to hit over 230 and high A ball. I'm getting rid of a guy. I'm getting rid of a guy like him before everyone realizes he stinks.
That's gonna happen though. Sometimes guys that you draft are just gonna be busts.
But I'm
that's part of
saying,
it.
let's get ahead of the curve in Philadelphia for a change and trade this guy, maybe in a deal for Machado, or get a pitcher
agree.
like Fulmer, or whatever it may have you.
Well, I don't know about Fulmer. Fulmer just came back from a very serious injury. It's coming back from a very serious injury.
I would.
But I got you though. No, that's the kind of player
Whatever.
you want to try to get. Yeah, agreed. Without a doubt, they need to be a lot more proactive this offseason. They really do.
Which they don't really seem to be interested in. They bring Pat Neshek back for the back end of the bullpen. 2 years, $16 million.
And that's fine.
Is he worth $8 million? I don't know, but I mean,
and that's fine.
He can pitch.
Yeah, that's fine. At least
But
you have
look
somebody.
at this pitching staff. You have Aaron Nola and nothing.
Yeah, the rest of the guys are very questionable.
Which is why
right
I don't
now.
understand why they don't look at a guy like Mike Fiers. Went to the Detroit Tigers the other day. 1 year, $6 million.
Yeah,
He's going to pitch between 150 and 170 innings for the Tigers. He's going to strike out 6, 7, maybe 8 guys per 9 innings.
His ERA will be a lot better because he's not playing in the friendly confines of Houston anymore. He's going to be playing
$6 million for that?
Yeah, well, and Detroit is like Death Valley. It's one of the most difficult places to hit a home run. I mean, that's like Yellowstone Park.
That's good work by the Tigers. That's a good signing. I like that one.
Tigers have a long way to go, though.
The Mets
they're in pretty
are
deep.
shopping Matt Harvey.
Well, you know what? Why would you trade Matt Harvey now when he has zero value?
It's the Michael Franco syndrome.
Yeah, that's
Michael Franco hit 207 last year.
See, now that would be the kind of trade the Mets and Phillies would make. Matt Harvey, you take a flyer on Matt Harvey.
I wouldn't do it. I'll keep Franco.
And they take a flyer on Franco. They probably
guys like that you hold on to.
What about Harvey though? You don't know. I mean, listen.
I would hold Harvey if I were the Mets. Hopefully he catches fire, and if you don't want to deal with his antics or whatever.
Well, then you could trade.
Then you trade him when he's having a good season at least.
But this is his walk year.
Then he'll probably have a good season, and you can trade him at the deadline.
That's
Guys
what
in
I would
walk
do.
years have.
That's what I would do. I just don't understand why they would.
To give you an idea of how low an opinion the baseball world has of Matt Harvey right now.
It's not high right now. I know that.
The Texas Rangers declined a Matt Harvey for Jerickson Profar trade straight up.
Jerickson Profar is not good either.
Right.
'Cause I know the Yankees were talking about him early in the hot stove, and I kept saying, why? Because I don't like him at all.
No.
I just don't think he makes a whole heck of a lot of sense.
Is the captain done down there in Miami? It doesn't look like it. Looks like he'll trade Ozuna. Yelich might be on his way out.
I've heard Ozuna more than Yelich. I heard it's going to take less to get Ozuna than Yelich. I don't know why, but supposedly there's like 8 to 10 teams talking with
Surprised
them
there's
about
not more.
Ozuna. Yeah, Ozuna's an exceptionally good hitter. And he plays center field, doesn't he? Or just Yelich plays center field?
No, he played center last year.
Okay, yeah.
Yelich played
thought
left, and he played center.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, he's a tremendous hitter. Tremendous hitter. I mean, 2 years ago, he had a great first half and tailed off in the second half. Last year, he kept it up the whole season, and he was sensational. I mean, I can't understand why he's not really making that much money. You just got rid of Stanton. What are they doing in Florida? What, are they going to get rid of the whole team now?
This is what they do. They shed payroll. They get a bunch of prospects, hope it works out, and then...
Boy, they must be not happy about having Mr. Jeter on that team now. That's a shame.
It's a shame.
That's a shame.
Because I don't think they would have this mentality going into this season if Jose Fernandez were alive. I
don't know. I mean, Stanton was upset about. He took some shots today at the press conference. He took some shots at the Marlins because he was saying that we had the team. All we needed to do is just get a couple of arms, and we could have won the division. He really felt that strongly
East is
about
not
it.
that good. One of the worst divisions in baseball.
No, well, the Nationals aren't bad, but the Nationals are beatable.
Right, but that's one team.
Right, exactly.
If you finish sitting second place, you beat up on the other teams. You're in contention for a wild card.
Well, all four of those teams last year were all horror stories. All four of them.
I tend to agree with Stanton in that regard.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're so obsessed with that new stadium getting their payroll under $90 million.
Well, supposedly they're in debt. So I mean I don't know if that's true or not, but supposedly they're in debt. So. You know, I don't understand if a team.
I mean, Derek Jeter can't be happy about trading a stud like Stanton.
No, he doesn't want to do that. I mean, Derek Jeter is a winner. You know, he wants to win. He didn't get involved with in ownership of a team and to run a team to sink a team. He wants to win. It must kill him to have to do something like that
and get nothing. Nothing.
You really think that was nothing? Because I thought the Yankees gave up some decent young talent, but I mean I know you guys are probably thinking nothing, but the kid Guzman.
You didn't give up Sheffield. You didn't give up Torres.
That's true.
You didn't give up Adams.
Didn't give up Winslow either. I mean they
and got $35 million to help pay for his salary.
But Guzman throws 103 miles an hour. Now he's only an A-ball.
That's great. Maybe he'll do that one day. Giancarlo Stanton is going to hit 65 home runs now.
Yeah, well, batting between. Here's a question. So, what do the Yankees do with that lineup? Who bats second, third, and fourth? Do you have Judge batting second and Judge batting in front of Stanton or behind Stanton? I mean, that's an interesting one.
Good question.
Honestly, I think the best pure hitter out of the three is Sanchez. To be honest with you.
I liked Judge in the 2-hole because he gets on base at an incredible rate.
Well, yeah, he gets a lot of walks. Nobody wants to pitch to him. So do you put him? You put
so
him
yeah,
up.
I like Gardner, Judge.
Do you put Sanchez third and you back Stanton up to fourth, and then you have Gregorius fifth,
and then
or Bird fifth? I mean that's.
I like Gregorius towards the middle of the lineup. He seemed to really be comfortable there in the 4-hole last year.
So was Greg Bird. And Greg Bird in the towards the end of the season and the playoffs started to hit. I mean, you could see he was finally healthy because he was killing the ball in the playoffs.
Who's the better pure hitter, Gary Sanchez or Giancarlo Stanton?
See, I think as a pure hitter, I think Sanchez is. I think Sanchez will hit for a higher average. I mean, does Stanton go to right field a lot?
They're all righties, right?
Yeah, but does Stanton go to right field a lot, or is he a dead pull hitter? That's my question. Because Sanchez will hit a lot of balls to right field. He gets a lot of home runs to right field.
Sanchez bats right?
Sanchez bats right also, yeah.
So you got Judge, who's the only lefty of those three.
No, he's a righty also.
You're right, he is, yeah.
Yeah, they're all righties. Gregorius and Bird are both lefties. So do you put somebody in there to break it up a little bit? Problem is if you put those guys in.
That's the reasoning by putting Gregorius in the middle of that order.
Well, Gregorius last year batted third between Judge and
I saw him fourth
Sanchez.
as well a bunch in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, but he was batting third in the playoffs because they batted Judge second and Sanchez fourth. So, and then you got Bird, who's a real good hitter too.
Honestly, though, with 3 guys of that caliber, I have no problem putting 3 righties in a row. I do like Gardner in that 2-hole.
You mean in the leadoff?
No. I mean Judge
in the
Judge in the
2-hole.
2. Gardner leading off. Yeah, excuse me.
Well, yeah, because somebody's always on base. Just think how
Gardner,
often
Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, Gregorius, Bird, Hicks.
Yeah, and then you have
Headley, Torres. I would put Torres 9 just to have a speed in the 9.
Could be Miguel Andujar instead of Headley too, because the Yankees are trying to get rid of Headley because they feel that
Headley
Andujar
isn't anything special, but
but somebody's got to play third. And I mean Headley will give you he'll give you a professional at bat and he'll play a professional third base. He's not.
Look at this nonsense.
You're not going to get more than
Garrett,
250.
Mantle and Marish, Judge and Stanton. Which duo are you taking? I think Yankees fans are getting a little ahead of themselves there with that one.
Oh, that's you can't put Judge and Stanton there yet, guys.
The
Mickey and Roger. I mean, 61 and 54. Jeez.
The Mick was just an alky, or else he would have been the best ever.
Yeah, well, he also hurt his knee too. Because
he was an alky and didn't take care of himself.
No, he didn't take. Yeah, he was done by 36. Too bad. Because if you would have had 5 more good years, boy, wow. I mean, talent-wise, probably the best outfielder of his era, based on pure talent. If you look at his prime,
so
probably better than Mays in his prime. You take the 5 best Mantle years and the 5 best Mays years, they don't compare.
You're probably right.
Mays played longer and was more consistent, but if you want to know who was actually a better player, Mantle was a much better player than Mays. It's not even close. And for anybody who wants to argue it, just talk about their primes. When Mantle had his 5 best years and when Mays had his best 5 years. I mean, Mays never won a Triple Crown. I mean, it's
hard.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. And Mantle also, before he hurt his knee, he could steal too. He was one heck of a player.
Getting back to 2017, 2018 MLB season, though, you know what my favorite part about this Stanton trade is because now the Red Sox are going to chase to match them in the headlines,
and they're going to wait,
and they're going to do something stupid.
They're going to waste their money on somebody who they should not be.
A guy like Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, there'll be a Pablo Sandoval too. It maybe not that player, but now they want to try to get Kyle Schwarber from the Cubs.
Kyle Schwarber is nothing special.
No, he's okay, but
he doesn't have a position, so I like the fit in the American League, but
but Hanley Ramirez is your DH right now. What are you going to do?
He can't play the field either.
You're going to put Hanley at first base?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Brad.
You can't do that
because
you got to get
Theo Epstein is no dummy. He did not just fall off the turnip truck.
He's going to
be charging them an arm and a leg for Schwarber because of his potential.
Oh yeah,
and then they're going to get him, and he's not going to have a position, and they're going to be just like they were with Sandoval.
Or the Red Sox are going to pay $160 million for Eric Hosmer to play first base. And Eric Hosmer, I like Eric Hosmer, but he's not that good.
I think he is.
It's like he's a 290 hitter, and he hits like 25 home runs. I think that's the most he's ever hit.
He's a winner. He's a leader.
He's a good player.
A great glove.
He's a good player.
He can run the bases. He can steal bases.
But there are a lot of better first basemen in the league than him.
I mean,
I'm just saying. Listen, I don't have a problem.
How many are better than him?
How many are better? Oh, jeez. Now I got to go up and down the.
Well, you said it.
Okay. Well, all right.
There's not that many.
No, there's not that many, but there are a few. I mean,
is Miguel Cabrera at this stage of his career better than Eric Hosmer? No.
As a hitter, he is.
All-around baseball player.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
The answer is no.
No, not anymore.
Eric Hosmer is better than Greg Bird.
At this point of his career, absolutely.
Is
he better than Chris Davis?
Yes.
Chris Davis has hit 47 home runs twice in his career.
Twice in his career.
He had a terrible year last
pencil
year.
him in for a 220 average and 200 strikeouts.
That was last
Nothing
year.
to write home about from a glove standpoint.
Okay, Edwin,
Can't run at all.
Would you rather have Edwin Encarnacion offensively or Hosmer? I think I'd rather have
Offensively, but you're paying for defense too.
Yes,
it's
you
not
are.
a one-way
Okay.
contract.
Okay.
I'll give you Edwin Encarnacion.
I might want to take Edwin Encarnacion. That would. I always.
That's
liked
fine.
him.
That's one.
That's one. What about Hoskins?
You know,
think
we'll
we've reached
see
that
about
point?
it.
Okay.
At this point, I'll take Hosmer at this point of his career.
Okay.
Hoskins certainly has the arrow pointing up and has all the potential in the world. But
I think he's got the ability to be a hell of a lot better than him, than Hosmer. But actually, if you look up and down the league, there are a lot of good first basemen.
I mean, you got Justin Bour on Miami. Like, he's not better than Eric Hosmer. Who's the Astros first baseman? Yuli Gurriel.
Gurriel.
He's not better than Eric Hosmer.
No.
Who's the
you're right.
Rangers first baseman?
Right now? Who is their first baseman?
Joey Gallo or whatever?
No, he plays third. He plays
should
third.
play
It was
bench
Napoli.
because he
It was
stinks.
Napoli. Yeah, they don't have a
He's
first
not
baseman.
anything
No,
good.
Not anymore. Not
Uh,
anymore. I guess you're right. You know what? I guess you're right.
Where are these first basemen that are better than Eric Hosmer?
Yeah. You know what? You know what? Well, Freddie Freeman's better.
Correct.
I would take
Okay.
him. So what's that, 2?
That's 2.
That's 2.
And
You might be right. Well, what about Will Myers?
Will Myers inconsistent. Eric Hosmer's going to hit for a higher average. They're similar players.
Okay. You might be right there. You might be right. I can't say Albert Pujols, not after the year he had last year. He was pretty horrible last year. All right, so he is definitely one of the top. He's one of the top 3 first basemen in the league.
Will Myers at 2.1 WAR last year. That's terrible.
He had no lineup to hit around though.
243 batting average, 328 on base percentage. Neither of those numbers
Wow,
are
that's
good.
not good.
180 strikeouts to 70 walks. That's not that good.
That's not good. No. How many RBIs? Probably not more than about 70 with that team.
30 home runs, 74 RBIs. He was the leadoff hitter. He does have a speed. He had 20 stolen bases.
Yeah, you know what? Hosmer's probably ahead of him.
792 slugging or 464 slugging percentage. That's not that good. 792 OPS. That's not that good. So,
No.
I mean,
No.
that's a hard no on.
What about Jose Abreu?
Jose Abreu is a good player.
He's I would put him probably ahead of Hosmer at this point. You're going to get more power out of him
25 homers, 94 RBIs.
on a pathetic
Only
team.
6 steals. That's not as many as I thought he had. The 318 batting average goes a long way. The 385 on base goes a long way. The 498 slugging goes a long way. The
That's pretty good.
882 OPS
That's outstanding.
goes a long way. 104 strikeouts to 66 walks. That's an excellent ratio.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. Okay.
So there's not that many first basemen.
But are you going to but again, you think he's worth 160 mil? So that's what it's going to cost to
No,
sign
I
him.
mean, my Phillies offseason plan was 5 years, $100 million. For maybe that's low.
That
after
might be
looking
low.
At his stats.
What do you think JD Martinez is going to get?
That's who the Red Sox are going to get, probably.
You're going to spend $200 million?
No, I'm not. The Red
JD?
Sox are.
see that this is the beauty of it, because if the Red Sox go out and spend $200 million on JD Martinez, who is a bad, and I repeat, a bad outfielder. Okay, he is a DH-like player who hit 42 home runs and had a great year last year, but that's not happening again. He's been in the league a long time, and that was the first time he really had a year like that. I mean, he's had some 20, 25 home run seasons last year.
Jose
He was out of
Abreu,
his
not
mind.
that, sorry, to interrupt, but Jose Abreu and Eric Hosmer, pretty similar stats. Jose Abreu is going to get him in home runs, 33 to, what did I say, 25 for
Yeah.
Hosmer.
Jose's a pretty good hitter.
102 to 94 in RBIs in favor of Jose. That's pretty much.
On a White Sox team that had no offense.
119 strikeouts. What did I say? 106 for Hosmer?
Yeah.
That's pretty similar. Hosmer's going to walk more and have a higher on-base percentage. Hosmer has a better average. Slugging percentage would favor Abreu. OPS would favor Abreu. This is just based on 2017 statistics.
Gotcha.
So,
It's close.
that's close. To say
It's
that Jose
close.
Abreu is 100% better than
No, I mean they're about the same. They're about the same.
4.7 whip. Jose Abreu. I'll give you Jose Abreu. I'll give you Encarnacion. I'll give you
there aren't too many,
Freddie
though.
Freeman.
Yeah, who plays first base for Pittsburgh now? They don't
have anyone at first
They don't have
base.
anybody now. Okay, I don't know.
Zimmerman was last year, but is he going
He's
to
not
do
gonna
that?
do that.
He's
He's not
do
gonna.
that again. That's pretty much a career year for Ryan Zimmerman there.
No way that's happening again. No way.
The Mets don't have anybody.
No. The
Rizzo. I'll take
Rizzo on the Cubs. Okay.
Rizzo on the Cubs. We'll
He had
give
a
him-
lousy year last year, but
still.
yeah, no, he did have a bad year last year, but he's a big time player. I will take Cody Bellinger over him.
Yeah, that's fair.
That I would take him
That's
over.
very fair.
So there's one. Trying to think who plays
Yeah,
first.
273, 32 homers, 109 RBIs for Rizzo. Slightly better WAR.
Yeah, forget the Giants.
392. He gets Rizzo. I'll take Rizzo over.
Yeah, but there aren't
I'll
too
take
many.
Rizzo over Hosmer.
There aren't too many.
He's a
He's
top 5 first baseman.
Absolutely.
All around game.
Absolutely.
So 160 million for him. That might be about right.
Yeah, I would think he's gonna.
Fangraphs projects he'll sign with the Red Sox for 4 years, 132 million.
That's a lot of money for him.
But it's not.
Yeah, but you know what? If as a Yankee fan, I would say go ahead and pay him 132. That means you're going to be paying him $30 million.
The Red Sox
and you're
didn't
gonna
fall
pay,
ass backwards into Giancarlo Stanton for a pretty manageable contract considering the production you're going to get. He didn't want to play there.
No, it's strange that he didn't want to play there. If you think about it,
I can't believe he didn't want to play in St. Louis.
Because he doesn't. You know what it is? He thinks if he goes there, that he doesn't know if he puts them over the top. He feels like the Yankees were one game away from the World Series, and they were already right there, and that he could put them over the top.
And hey, he's allowed to do that. He has a full no trade clause in his contract. He can.
Oh, he can do whatever. He can do whatever he wants. All I'm saying is, you're asking them to. You're asking the Red Sox to put $132 million, $30 million a year, into Eric Hosmer. You're already paying Price $30 million a year. I mean, you're racking up some big salary.
Well, Price is a killer for the Red Sox.
Yeah,
he wasn't healthy last year, and if he doesn't get healthy,
he's the
it's
Ellsbury. He's the Ellsbury of the Red Sox right now. I mean, he's holding them back because the Red Sox, believe it or not, last season had a higher payroll than the Yankees did, and the Red Sox are in a situation right now where they're still paying luxury tax. So they got to get themselves down in salary.
They gave Sandoval that bonehead contract. They gave Price way too much money.
And
Sale looks like the bargain. Sale is like the pitching version of Giancarlo Stanton.
He's only making $12 million a year. Though.
Yeah,
that's nothing for a guy
crazy.
as good as him.
I mean, he didn't win the AL Cy Young. He could have. He fell just short, but he was really good.
He was really good, though. I mean, he was really good. But between
they have to be careful because they have Rafael Devers, who looks like a stud. They have Bogarts, who's really, really solid, and they have Benintendi, who's
they're talking about
MVP candidate.
They're talking about trading Bogarts.
I wouldn't be.
They're
doing
talking
that.
They're talking about trading him. So I mean,
and
I don't know.
Who plays shortstop?
I don't know. I've heard
because this is what they do. They try him. They can't just have their blinders on and do what they think's best for theirs. They got to keep up with New York. It's stupid. How many times did it have to cost them before they learn?
Well, they see. At this point, the Yankees
Why
got.
would you trade Alexander
lucky.
Bogaerts?
I don't know. Unless they have somebody who.
I don't know anything about their farm system. You would be more of an expert on their farm system.
Basically, at this point, their top prospects are all playing. I mean, Devers and Benintendi are up. So
neither of them are shortstops.
No.
Alexander Bogaerts really didn't have a good year last year. A 2.2 WHIP at shortstop, not WHIP. WAR
I
at
know.
shortstop.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're talking about trading him in Boston. So I don't know with Sander Bogaerts, but they've got a lot of. If they go and they spend $200 million on J.D. Martinez, they're going to put themselves in a position where they're going to be on the outside looking in next year.
So what's he going to play, left?
Who, Martinez?
Yeah.
He'd have to play left. You can't put him in right. Not in Fenway Park.
Who plays right? Benintendi? Oh, they have Betts there. I'm forgetting about Betts.
Betts. You're fine with Betts in right field. And Jackie Bradley Jr. plays center.
Where's Benintendi playing?
Left. They would have to trade. Jackie Bradley Jr. if they get.
That's fine. I'd much rather have J.D. Martinez.
Oh,
than
I
Jackie
would too.
Bradley Jr.
That's a no-brainer. I mean, you could always move Mookie into center because Mookie could play center.
Yeah, Mookie's a freak. He can play
Mookie
wherever. He could probably play shortstop if you needed him to.
Mookie is a great player.
Yeah.
So you could put him in center. I guess you put Martinez in right because that's where he played for Detroit.
He would do really well in Fenway.
He would do great in Fenway. I mean,
but
listen,
I'd rather give Hosmer 150 than JD 200.
Yeah, because I think they need a first baseman more than they need another outfielder. I mean, unless you're going to put JD at DH. I mean, you could. I guess.
You have Hanley. Hanley can't play the field.
No, he cannot. See,
he can't really hit as good as he used to either.
They need a first baseman. I mean, I would think. My opinion is either Santana or Hosmer will be playing for the Red Sox next year, one or the other. And the consolation prize goes to Cleveland. Whoever doesn't sign with the Red Sox will go to Cleveland.
I think there's going to be way more action on Eric Hosmer than being a consolation prize for the Indians.
Well, I think he's going.
I think
he's going to Boston. I mean, unless
Fangraphs projected him to stay with the Royals at 4 years, $132 million. I said they had him projected going to the Red Sox for that money.
Really? You think they think he's going back to the Royals?
Fangraphs does.
That would be.
Well, if they lose,
it's too bad they went and spent all that money on Gordon because that
was the stupidest contract in recent.
That was a bad deal.
Pablo Sandoval bad. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well,
I really don't.
They didn't want to get rid of one of the
original guys. I get it, but sometimes you got to buck up and make a tough choice.
Look, they're guilty the same way that the Phillies were guilty. They didn't want to break up the core when it was clearly time to let them go. So I don't know what they do now.
Yeah, but Alex Gordon. He was like the Raul Ibanez of that core. They could have still won without him.
I agree.
Lorenzo Cain was a beast. Hosmer was a beast. Salvador Perez
he's
fantastic.
Outstanding. He's outstanding.
I mean, they had
catcher.
Johnny Cueto at the top of that rotation when they won.
Yes, they did. They had one other pitcher that was really good too.
They had Wade Davis and Kelvin Herrera at the back end. They had a really good team.
Yes, they did, and they had Ben Zobrist too.
They were loaded.
They had a real good team. The thing with them is they never struck out. They always got the ball,
and
hit the
ran
ball,
the
put it in
bases.
play.
They put pressure on you running the basement, which nobody in baseball does anymore. It's all analytics. If you're not stealing at a 72% rate, you just don't run.
Well, a lot of teams just don't run. Period.
It's right because it's analytics, Moneyball bullshit.
I mean, I'm thinking the only guy that I can think of that has power and really steals a lot these days is Brian Dozier. Other than him, there's
Dozier, I mean, Trout gets it done.
He steals when he has to. I mean, he could steal a lot more bases.
Trout could steal 50 bases if he wanted to.
Oh, I agree with you. He could absolutely. He's kind of like Trout. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jose Canseco when Jose Canseco first came in before he became a complete idiot. I mean, he's that kind of a player. You know, Jose Canseco was the first 40-40 guy in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Trout wanted to do that, he could have done that.
Trout could easily go 40-40. He probably will this year.
You know who could have done it a million times is Mickey Mantle. I remember him saying that if it mattered so much, he would have tried to do it. He didn't think it really mattered. He was more worried about hitting home runs and, I guess, getting drunk after the game.
Yeah. All right, just after 10 o'clock. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. We get a few more minutes left. We got a late start.
We can briefly go over some of the bowl games.
How about Villanova basketball, number 1 in the nation?
Oh, they're back up to number 1 again.
Back up to number 1. Duke lost.
Boy,
Kansas lost.
Jay Wright is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. I mean, it's not that easy to maintain a program as long as he has.
No, it's not.
They still have Brunson, right?
They do.
Who else do
They
they
have
still
Phil Booth. They have Michael Bridges.
Oh, they still have Bridges. Okay.
They'll be playing Temple tomorrow night, another Big Five.
I assume Jay has done his job recruiting.
They have DiFrancesca, who's a sophomore now. You remember him, for the kid from Delaware who was a freshman last year. Excellent backup point guard. Catholic League Player of the Year from Archbishop Wood, up from my neck of the woods in Bucks County. He's a freshman getting minutes for Villanova.
Wow.
It's
so,
just,
as usual, he is done.
They're not big. They're not big, and this is like they don't have a big. They don't have an Oshefu like they had when they won.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you don't have to have those kind of players. It helps.
You kind of do.
It helps
To win the championship, unless
win an
unless
NCAA
the bracket
championship,
just absolutely falls your way.
you need a big guy to get the 2 points in the paint in a big spot if you're not hitting your threes. I would agree with that.
But, I mean, they're just as good as anyone right now. Do I think they're the best team in the country? No, I don't. Duke's the best team in the country. They happened to lose Saturday to Boston College, a game they shouldn't have lost, but they did. It was on the road in the ACC.
Well,
That's going to happen.
Nobody goes undefeated anymore, Rob.
And Villanova's not going to go undefeated either. They're
Villanova
10-0 right now.
Villanova always plays a very representative, difficult out-of-conference schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not.
This year's no different.
Yeah, they're not a team that runs away and plays lousy teams to build up their record. The Big East is still good.
Number 12 Gonzaga about a week ago.
Exactly.
Smoked
Gonzaga
in the Garden.
Gonzaga is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They don't have to play Gonzaga if they don't want to play Gonzaga. They choose to play teams like that because that gets them. That's how you end up getting a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
They're going to be playing Temple on Wednesday. Big 5 matchup. Temple.
I think they'll kill Temple. I don't.
They might not. They didn't kill LaSalle yesterday, and LaSalle stinks.
Yeah, but do you think that LaSalle may have kind of gotten up for the game?
Probably, but Temple's going to be up, and Temple's probably going to make the tournament this year.
Well, they came close last year. They didn't quite get there.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, you would know better than me.
I wouldn't have classified them on the bubble. They didn't have a good season last year.
Oh, okay.
Temple, they're a much better team this year, and I think they will make the tournament pending a disaster. So that's Big 5 action. Bowl Mania.
Love me some bowl games.
Love you some bowl games. Frank,
Love
let
it.
me throw you some bowl games.
Okay.
USC and Penn State.
Ooh.
Let's get to that one first.
Well, it's USC and Ohio State.
Oh, USC, Ohio State.
I thought they're playing Penn State.
No,
Penn
Washington's
State.
playing.
Yeah.
Washington State's playing Penn State, right?
No, Washington.
Just Washington.
Playing-
Just
oh,
the
okay.
Huskies.
My bad. Okay.
I love Ohio State in that.
That is going to be a very entertaining matchup. I mean, you're probably going to look at the 2 top 5 prospects going into this draft in I don't know why I said Saquon Barkley. I was thinking of Penn State.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold, and you might see a top prospect in Nick Bosa if he goes into the draft. But I think this is going to be a very entertaining matchup. Hopefully, Darnold is going to recover from from what we thought he was going to be the best quarterback, a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah,
JT Barrett is JT Barrett a
Sam
NFL
Darnold
quarterback?
is definition of overrated.
I mean, you could take a look at these USC teams. That everybody has high hopes on these USC teams. Like every single year when they're predicted to be like a playoff team or top contender, they always somehow find a way to disappoint.
I wouldn't touch Sam Darnold at a 10-foot pole if I was in the top 10 of the NFL draft.
I am not touching Darnold, and I'm definitely not touching the Trojans going into that bowl game.
What about Wisconsin and Miami?
Wisconsin, Miami,
Miami.
Another interesting matchup. I think
I like Wisconsin there.
I mean, it is the Orange Bowl, so I know that home field advantage is going to play to Miami's favor.
But they're not good enough.
I know they're going to try to rebound from that 2-game losing streak to Pitt and what's it called? Clemson. So I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. Both. I mean, you have a very talented offense in Wisconsin, especially with Jonathan Taylor. Miami, you have the world-famous defense and the turnover chain. But looking at it, I mean, I think Miami's going to rebound. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close. I got the Canes on that one.
Wow, okay, so I'm outnumbered on that one. LSU and Notre Dame.
This one is another matchup I like, especially with the running backs in Darius Geis and what's his name?
Josh
Adams.
I think you got to go with Notre Dame.
I mean,
I'm on the other side of that one. I picked LSU on my Bowl Mania sheet.
I'm trying to remember my Bowl Mania. Let me see where I had them. I believe I picked LSU for that Bowl Mania pick. I did a straight pick kind of. That's kind of the way I kind of roll with these games, because sometimes if I put too much high confidence, I picked Notre Dame to win, but let me change that to LSU, because the more I'm thinking about it, it's not letting me change it right now on my computer, so I got to change it on my phone. But I'm gonna go with LSU on this one.
Last thing before we go.
All right.
Alabama, Clemson.
All right. Alabama, Clemson. I know
Alabama's favored.
Opened as a pick'em. Alabama has climbed to a 3-point favorite in the football game. That's an Alabama line. I love Bama to win this game. I love Bama and Oklahoma to be in the national championship.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the rematch between Alabama and Clemson very closely. I know Alabama, they still have the injuries. I think all that rest is going to help the Tide a lot.
When's the last time Nick Saban lost 2 games in a row?
The last time Nick Saban lost 2 games in a row. Let's find out. But
Google might not even. It might have never happened before. Maybe when he was a coach of the Dolphins.
Or maybe when he was a coach at LSU.
Even then, they were
always consistent.
Boy.
Let's figure this out. Let's see.
It's been a while.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Toledo. I doubt that he might have a 2-game loss at Toledo. No 2-game losses in his only year in Toledo. I know. I'm like going all the way back to Toledo. It's crazy. Let's see at Alabama.
It doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very often. An Alabama loss is like, it's like one of those moments where it's like when pigs fly, I guess.
I think Oklahoma takes care of business, and Baker Mayfield goes out with a national championship.
Ooh, all right. So he did have a 2-game losing streak against when he was at LSU with Nick Saban, both in 2001, a loss against Tennessee and a loss against Florida.
So you have to go back 16 years to find that.
I know. It's crazy. I'm just looking at all the 2-loss seasons. I'm looking at the 3-loss seasons. But yeah, I mean, it's
16 years.
and he lost 2 in a row in 08 as well with Alabama, 1 to Florida in the SEC championship.
What a scrub.
And another in the Sugar Bowl against Utah when they had that undefeated season.
Alex Smith.
Yep.
Got him.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about with Saban. But, I mean, going into the picks with Sugar Bowl, I mean, I definitely got I got the slight nod with Alabama on this one. I won't be surprised if Clemson manages to pull off the win. Rose Bowl, another good matchup. But I think Georgia, they have the stronger defense at this point. So I got Georgia.
Be a great game.
That's going to be a great game.
That's going to be a great game.
I think Georgia has the slight upper hand. So I got the Bulldogs. Bama versus Georgia. mean, as much as I don't want to see an SEC versus SEC matchup, I mean, I got to give it to it's going to be the Alabama versus Clemson winner in that national championship game. So I got the.
So all this pissing and moaning, and you got Alabama winning the championship.
I don't know. I think all that rest is going to benefit Alabama, especially.
Not you're pissing and moaning, but everyone's pissing.
I know
and moaning
people are
about
pissing
Bama.
and moaning. I mean, I wish I could be pissing and moaning, but I got to observe this from a different point of view. So
I get it. Saban's a jerk. He acts like a jerk.
It's
He's
Alabama
not
being
likable.
Alabama. I mean,
Urban Meyer's not likable either.
Yeah, I mean,
No, not at all.
I mean, I don't hate Urban Meyer. I mean, I like how he coaches, but
he's a fraud.
he gives a weird vibe for me. So.
Well, I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that his heart trouble at Florida coincided with Tim Tebow's graduation?
I don't even know. That's
perfect timing.
That's a
His
little bit
heart
odd.
seems to
And
recover.
Ohio State opens up and everything's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it could be some coincidental burnout. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
the well dried up in Florida, and then Ohio State came calling, and he went in.
Yep.
He's a great coach. Can't take that away from him. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. We'll be back next week, Monday, 8 to 10, same time, same place. See you next week.